I'm here today with Bobby of Persefone to talk about the latest record, Metanoia, out February 4th on Napalm Records. How's it going?
Hello. How are you doing, Pedro? Everything is going all right.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the channel, and I'm going to pick your brain for the next couple of minutes to get to all the inner workings of this incredible record. And then at the end, we're going to play a little bit of a game. But let's start off from the beginning.
Okay.
Does every album for the band start out with a roadmap, or do you allow the creative process to kind of define where the album is going to end up?
Yeah, w- we cannot let like all the inspiration just enter, our minds and be just like creative like this, because this kind of music needs a lot of work. So I don't want to say there's a specific roadmap since the beginning, but kind of, like the length is really important. The first song is always super, super important, how the first song is going to start. And we clearly have the idea for the Katabasis song for this album. And we like to structure the album, um, with ups and downs. So kind of there's a roadmap. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so how does once you have that perhaps that shape of what you want the album to be with those key ingredients, those key points, how does the creative process then begin for you guys?
Usually it begins with guitar riffs. Carlos brings always guitar riffs, and then we kind of know how the song. I mean, we pick some references for songs, from our albums, past albums, or even other bands. I mean, we copy a lot of bands. Uh, I mean, we copy a lot of ideas. Obviously,
Ideas.
you won't listen like some particular riffs or whatever, but like the vibes of some songs, like, oh, this vibe is really good. Or just Carlos just asked me, how do you want this song to start? Like what kind of pacing or rhythm, and then from that we start the whole song. And it's really hard to write music for Persephone, actually. I mean, it's really complicated. There's not a magical, like a recipe or something. I wish there was, because
It'd be
we
easier.
take, yeah, we take so many time to do it, and it's super painful and long and stressful. So I cannot answer that, like really specifically right now.
Do you guys look at each album as a chance for you to grow as a band? And at the same time, what kind of growth do you see on this record?
Yeah, sure. I think we do that, and with this one, I think we got more confident with songwriting in a sense, like we're trying to write more songs, not the whole album idea, but to focus more on songs. And even with lengths, usually we do like super long songs because we love that, but with this one I was like, guys, please, can we do just like a few shorter songs, because please,
Only amongst the
because
singles.
not only for the singles, mostly for the live, because then when we have to choose a set list, we only can play like four songs or five, and it's like, maybe if we do shorter songs, we could play more songs. And so yeah, I think we got more confident with songwriting, and we add a lot of new sounds to the album, in my opinion, and it's way darker than the other one. So what else? This is my second album actually with Persephone, so writing with them too. So I think we got to know each other way more, when writing music, and that can be heard on this record. I'm super sure of that.
I find it really interesting that you said that you feel like this is perhaps an album where the songs have a little bit more of an individuality. Because when I was listening to the record, I felt the strength of the individual songs. And what I mean by that is that you could listen to the songs individually and they hold their own as an
Mm,
individual track.
mm,
But listening to the album from beginning to end, the fluidity that you guys create, this sense of one track finishing exactly how the next song is going to start, made me feel like I was listening to one song broken down into 10 different acts. Do you see a little bit of that in there?
Sure. I mean, it's a conceptual album also, so as all the previous albums, and even if I said that, about the songs, the idea is to have this journey, when you listen the album with all the up and downs I was telling you. So we pay a lot of attention on what kind of notes the song ends to start the next one, and the tempo. So I like that you say that, because it's intended, actually. So the songs are not at all just placed in a random order, It's really thought, not only because the music, but also with the lyrics, and this sense of fluidity between the songs. It's also because we use some references between the songs, like vocals references, or just some notes that we repeat during the whole album. Like there are some vocal progressions and even words that we are repeating just to, like make a click when you're listening the album. And yeah.
So when you're putting these together, the sense of continuation from song to song, is this something that comes later in the process when you have most of the tracks already ironed out and you know the order, or do you guys kind of work on the record from the order that you want the record to be in order to create that fluidity?
No, we don't. We work songs and then we try to put it together, and okay, what does this song needs, to be here? Or what is the best place for this song or another one? We knew that the intro and Katabasis, intro and first song, we knew that already. Last song also, we knew that. And we, since 3 albums, yeah, since Shinken, we write these instrumental songs, like shorter songs to be in Shinken we call them books, because it was like the book of fire or water, but then in spiritual migration and Athma we try to have these shorter songs instrumental, just to give the listener, a sense of peace between two heavy songs. And so those songs we also know when we have to put them, to create this mood when you listen the album.
Is it hard for you guys to find that balance between ensuring that the record has that fluidity, but at the same time, for the listener who's going to just listen to a song here and there, not feel like there's something missing? You know what I mean? Like not feel like I came in halfway through a song and then the song is not over, like that sense of being incomplete. Is that a hard balance to come to bring together?
It's really complicated, and then we also have a lot of problems with vocals, because we try to use them as another instrument, and we don't have our single mark singing all the time. So sometimes you can maybe listen like to, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes of music, and there's no harsh vocals at all, but it's not intended, it's like we need the vocals here and there, and so sometimes when we were like putting all the songs together, it was like, how many minutes is Mark like quiet, and it's like, wow, man, that's a lot. We have to do something, about this. But yeah, it's really complicated, man.
You know what I find really funny is that for you guys, this is really a lot of hard. I mean, I can tell when I'm listening to the album the amount of work that must have gone into creating the record. But for me, since I'm not involved with the creative process, it's really interesting to see the pain and suffering that you're telling me that you go through in order for us to get to the end result, which is this phenomenal album. So I think it would be worth the VIP admission for you guys to let fans come into the studio to just see you guys sweating, sweating
No,
songs together.
no, bro, it's super painful. I mean, listen, we have these daily jobs, and so we cannot meet every day to make the album, so we just meet like some mornings, because we work then, and at night we are super tired to write this kind of music. We did that with Athma, and it was like, dude, no more, it's like, so we meet during the mornings, and sometimes you don't have ideas, and and even if we are best friends, and family within the band and everything, some days we just want to kill each other, and we cannot accept anyone there. I mean, it's super super tense, but then when something good and some good music, it just appears when you are writing or in the studio or something. It's like it's super cool to start the day, when you know that you have written something really cool, but the days you haven't, whew,
It's tough.
it's really hard. Yeah, really
Yeah,
tough. Yeah.
it's tough. When I was listening to the album, I went back to see the press release, and obviously the label puts together the genre for you guys is progressive melodic death metal. And I'm listening to this album, and I'm like, I know that there is progressive melodic death metal within the band previous records, even this album. But
Mhm.
do you feel like it does a disservice not only to the record but to the band? Because this album to me is so much more than just one single genre.
Thank you. Yeah. It's really complicated to label music. I mean, as a music lover myself too, it's really hard. But when you have to explain someone with words, how is the music? I guess they have to put those labels, I, I think it's really pretentious to say it's just music, because it is. I know it is, but I cannot put this kind of music, to my, I don't know, aunt or my mother, because they don't love that. So we have to put those labels. But yeah, I think it's way beyond metal, like a
Yeah.
genre like this.
I think you guys create an experience. It
Yeah.
really is. Listening to the album, I was like, I could care less about what you call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. It's the experience that you allowed us, the listener, to immerse ourselves in. And you were talking about how long you go between vocals. I mean, I want to ask you about that a little bit more, but you almost don't notice it because the vocals
Yeah,
are another instrument. So it's just
that's
like
the thing.
it's all part of the experience.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then I think that's because you are obviously, like all metal listeners, used to growls, and screams and everything. That's why you can listen to growls as part of the music. But there are a lot of progressive fans that they don't love, growls and harsh vocals and everything. So I think they notice, when there's no harsh vocal, and this is the best song because there are no vocals, and it's like, no.
I'm a fan of the harsh vocals, but I'm going to be honest with you. The clean vocals on this album were far better because I just felt that they were a more an easier part to integrate into the overall atmosphere that you created. Having
Mm,
said that, the harsh vocals created a little bit of a break because
mm,
it was almost like a click in your mind that when they came on, it's like, oh, wait a minute, now the mood is changing, something is
yeah,
happening, and
yeah.
you almost need it. But the clean vocals on this album are phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you. I think the combination is completely needed, because clean vocals are also really cool for me. But if we didn't have these harsh vocals, it wouldn't work, the same way, in my opinion. I mean, I think I need those. I don't listen to much metal nowadays, but when I listen those growls or when I listen to a good metal song, I really need the punch of the harsh vocals,
Yeah,
I
I
really
agree.
need that.
I
Yeah.
agree. What kind of game plan did you have for the drums coming into this record? Did you come in with a little bit of something? Okay, I want to try this out on this album because I think it fits, or you kind of went a little bit more. What works works. Let's just kind of go with it.
That was, yeah. I mean, we pay a lot more attention on drums in this album than the previous one, like crazy. And Carlos is a really good drummer too, and he doesn't say that too often, but he's really good, and he helps me a lot writing all the drums. So it's he really knows what to do, to make the song better, or just keep moving forward, and I was like paying way more attention on the drum fills like before, not to repeat myself or just to add some different stuff. But yeah, mostly that we wrote all the album with a small drum kit like this one, a small electronic drum kit. But then I could practice for 2 weeks on acoustic, and that that's when I try to rearrange stuff, because I have more cymbals, more toms, etc. Yeah.
Was there a specific song on this record that was a little bit hard for you to get it to where you needed to take it?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Anabasis is really complicated for me to play, like crazy complicated.
Part one, two, or three, or all?
No, the complicated one, part two. Yeah, part one is like.
Part one is pretty easy. Yeah,
I think I don't even play there. But yeah, part two, it was the first song we wrote for the album, not the whole song, but just the four first minutes, something like this. And I was like used to that, But then when I was relearning the songs before the recording, it was like, I don't know how did I play that. It was like I send them. It's funny because they have this voice message from me from the rehearsing place. They were like finishing solos or something in the studio, and I was rehearsing the songs, and this really really mad audio from me, like, dude, this song is impossible. I cannot play that shit. How that we wrote that? I was drunk or something. It's like really really complicated. And in the studio, even we only had like 5 days to 5 6 days to record everything for the drums. And I was like not scared, but
nervous.
a little bit, yeah, with the song. But it was good. I hope we will never play this song live. That's the thing I want to say out loud.
Okay, you want to make sure you put that out there so everybody knows.
Yeah, I hope, because it's gonna be super messy, and we have to be super tight on this one, and it's so hard. And tomorrow I'm saying this, and tomorrow there will be a video, or someone playing it perfectly, on YouTube, Yeah.
Somebody's going to prove you wrong. Somebody's going to show you how it's done. Somebody's going to show you how you should be doing it.
Literally, that's the thing. I'm relearning old Persephone songs that I didn't write, and I'm always looking for videos, on YouTube, like, how is he doing this part? Okay, I will copy that too. Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Have you had a chance to perhaps look back at everything that went into making this album and take a learning lesson from it, maybe as a musician or as an individual?
We've been working on this album for, I don't want to say 2 years, but probably 2 years. And with the pandemic in between, maybe more than 2 years. And I don't want to say I forgot the bad moments, because I don't, but almost, because we've been working a lot on other stuff, And just today, literally today, we got the album, and
There it is.
and that pays all the other stuff. So I don't know what I've learned. We learn every day when we are together, when playing or just talking, but I don't have any specific answer to that.
Okay, so the last question I have for you is a little bit of a game. I'm going to tell you how I describe this album to anybody that asks me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. So if anybody asks me, describe this record, my description is, if Pink Floyd was from Andorra and they played progressive melodic death metal, they would release this album today. That's the way I'm going to go with it.
That's awesome, but too far from reality. But yes, I love it. How uh, how should I describe this album to someone, right?
Yeah. You can't use Pink Floyd because I already took it.
Yeah, I don't know, man, and I cannot say Pink Floyd myself. Obviously, if you say it's, I didn't say that. So yeah,
It's tough, eh?
it's really hard. Yeah, for me, all the Persephone records are. I said it again, but it's like a journey when I listen to the albums. I was a Persephone fan myself before being the drummer, and I know the guy since forever, and I enjoyed the previous albums. So I know I've been on the both sides, I could listen to the records before joining, and I also had this sense, of um, even if it's metal, you stay with this peace, inside when listening to it. So that's the thing. I mean, the description will be, you're going to listen to a metal, angry, dark album, but you will finish with a sense of peace, and
Peace and calm.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, today I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me today.
no
Today I learned a
problem.
lot about the record. I learned about a lot about the band, and also I learned the right pronunciation, which is Persephone, which
Yeah,
to me
we
is actually more normal because that's a more Portuguese pronunciation than the English one, which would be Persephone.
Yeah,
So
we
Persephone.
we yeah we say Persephone like really Spanish way, to say it, but Persephone, it's good too. Yeah, but Persephone, it's a little bit weirder.
Yeah, it's different. So I've learned a lot today. I'm going to make sure I'm never again going to pronounce the name wrong. I'm going to do it the Portuguese, Spanish, Andorran style, and I'm going to go with Persephone.
Nice, Pedro. Nice.
All right. Thank you very much, Bobby. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.